I want to talk about setting your boundaries and knowing your worth. And when you realize your worth and that you are the prize, no one is going to step over your boundaries. You will not allow anyone to step over your boundaries because you know you're the prize. Until you know you're the prize, people are going to try to walk all over you. People are going to try to test you and push you to your limits. This is what happens in relationships and in day-to-day interactions with people. I am fired up today. I don't know if it is this eclipse energy, probably the full moon, but I am so fired up. I will not tolerate anything less than I deserve. I need to go sit down with my bowl of fruit because I can't. Listen, you guys. So I wanted to share this story about an incident that I had with the guy I met on Bumble, with a guy I matched on Bumble. I didn't meet him in person. And why it's so important to never lower your standards, to never lower your boundaries for anybody. Because you need to see that you are the prize. This goes for women and men, okay? This goes for every single human on the planet. Because the thing is, everybody has the potential to be the prize. Everybody has the potential to be special, to shine, to be a magnet. But it's up to you. Are you going to get to that point? Are you going to actually see your worth? Because if you don't love yourself and if you don't see your worth, people are going to walk all over you. You're going to keep getting hit with the same cycle over and over and over until you say enough is enough. Just like in my last relationship. In my marriage, I kept dealing with the same cycle over and over and over again until God was like, when is enough enough? When are you going to stop putting up with the verbal abuse and the manipulation and the gaslighting and all that stuff? When is enough going to be enough? And when I finally set my boundaries, it didn't happen anymore. And now we have a really good co-parenting relationship. But I want to talk about this crazy thing. First of all, I don't like dating apps. I signed up for a dating app just this past weekend, okay? And I went on Bumble, and I matched with this guy who's spiritual. I'm thinking, wow, he's, relatively cute, but he's a little far. We start talking, we start joking right away about like what he does. He's a massage therapist and exchanging services, like as a joke, right? He's being really funny. And like, oh, and you cook too. Like, yeah, part of my, my part-time gig. And then all of a sudden he sends me like 4 2 to 3 minute audios each. And they're all talking about himself. And not once did he ask me about me. Not once did he ask me, so what do you do? Even though my bio says spiritual coach, but he didn't ask what kind of coaching? What do you do? Nothing. Not a single question about me. The only thing he asked was, so do you live in America or do you live here? When in my bio it specifically says that I used to live in America and I live in Portugal now. So did you even read? Did you bother to check? Why am I bringing this up? Because in my unhealed version, I would have allowed that. I would have allowed somebody to not ask me questions about me because I would want to get to know them so bad. My people-pleasing self would have just continued. Would have just been like, oh, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So that night, I told him, I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. Based on the energy, I'm either in it or I'm not, and I don't like to force anything. And as my friend says, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no, okay? So, excuse my language, but this is the energy I'm in. And this is the energy I feel like everybody needs to be in. It's not coming out of ego. It's about loving yourself. It's about seeing your worth, knowing your worth, and knowing that you will not lower your boundaries or standards for anybody. I used to be that person. I would have been like, oh, I'll just give him a chance. The last guy I dated, what happened? We went out one night and he's like, oh, I really want to get to know you. I had just come back from my trip from Azores. He didn't ask me a single question about my trip. He didn't ask me anything about myself. Instead, he spent the entire dinner talking about himself and his childhood problems. Honey, I'm not your therapist. Just because I'm a coach doesn't mean I'm here to save you. Okay? I am not here to talk about your problems all night. 1, 2, okay. And he didn't ask me a single thing about me. And I was like, so I realized, and then I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, oh, it's just one thing. And then I ended up telling him about it and he felt bad. But if somebody does that on day one, first impressions are everything. If on day one, you're on a dating app and you don't try to get to know the person that you just matched with and don't ask them not even one important question about them, That is a huge red flag in my book. That is a deal breaker. He then tried to manipulate me the next morning, sent me 44 messages saying that I'll never be happy. Oh, I understand, but you'll never be happy. Honey, I'm one of the happiest people you will ever meet. You have no idea who I am because you didn't ask me anything about me. Try to say, oh, you didn't even give me a chance. You didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. I was planning on asking you questions day 2. That is manipulation and gaslighting at its finest. And honey, I know what that is. That's the thing, is when you heal yourself, you see all the red flags and you will not tolerate it. My unhealed version would have allowed that. But when you start healing yourself and you start seeing your worth and loving yourself, you will not tolerate any of that. No one deserves it. Twin flame, soulmate, doesn't matter. You don't deserve that. I have been on this earth for nearly 40 years, 39 and a half years. I'll be 40 in July. And I've learned a lot in those 40 years and yes, I was going to say 25 because I started dating at 15, but realistically, you learn in your childhood what you should and shouldn't accept in a partner. You learn from what you see in your parents, from what you see in your childhood, from the adults around you. And I was one of those children. At 8 years old, I would evaluate all of my parents' friends and their relationships and their divorces and what was going on. And I'm like, damn. I had trauma just from seeing all of the people cheating in their relationships and switching partners and shit. Now I'm at the point in my life that I will not tolerate anybody that tries to lower my standards, that doesn't give me what I deserve, because baby, I know my worth, and you all should know your worth. Women and men should all know your worth. But it is up to you to break that cycle. Nobody is gonna come save you and rescue you. Nobody. And I can give you all the advice that you need to hear, but what are you going to do about it? Are you actually going to work on yourself? Are you going to learn to love yourself? Are you going to set boundaries with people? Are you going to allow the bare minimum, or are you going to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to accept that because I love myself. I know I'm the prize. I know what I deserve. Are you going to sit there and cry about it? Are you going to be in victim mentality and woe is me and what should I do and why does this keep happening to me? Or are you going to do something about it to fix it? Because everything that happens to you is happening for you. It's to push you. That's why what happened with my ex that I was with for like 11, 12 years, it kept happening over and over and over. It wasn't happening to me. God was trying to say, wake up. When are you going to see that enough is enough? It wasn't happening to me. It was happening for me to push me and see my worth and be like, Jessica, wake up. You don't deserve this, but you need to love yourself to see that you don't deserve this, to see that you are worthy of more. But until you see that you are worthy of more, you're not going to get it. This is why so many men are unhealed, because they don't love themselves, because they were not taught to love themselves. And then women like us who are healed, we want to show them, we want to love them, we want to give them. No, but it is not up to us to fix them. We have to start understanding that we deserve somebody to come in with correct energy, to love us with healed energy. That if they want to come in fully, they need to see our worth and value us. We are queen. We need to put ourselves on a pedestal and not tolerate breadcrumbs and the bare minimum. It is not that hard to respond to somebody. It is not that hard to ask somebody, how's your day? What do you do? What do you like? And not send 40 questions 3 days later. No. You need to love yourself, know your worth, and set those boundaries and stick to them and never lower them for anyone else. I love you. Now go love yourselves. Take care. Have a great day.